So my able professors, last week, all the groups did an awesome job by taking us through the functions of management. The functions of management. Okay. So I want to believe we all appreciated that the basic functions of management were actually four, comprising the first one to be planning, second, organizing, then three, leading, and then finally number four, controlling. So these are the four basic functions of management. Okay, for the purposes of remembering, you can shorten this to be POLC, right? POC. So these are the basic functions of management. But of course, when we talk about functions of management, what do we mean? The functions of management simply refers to the specific activities. Okay, so functions of management refers to the specific activities or tasks managers perform on daily basis. On daily basis to ensure the smooth running of an organization. Okay, so the specific things that people in management or managers do to ensure that an organization is run smoothly refers to the functions of management. So like I've indicated, these are the four: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. What is expected of us as business management professors is to digest each of these four basic functions. So of course, the first one is planning. Since you have already done the presentation, I'll only hit on the major themes, okay? But along the line, if you have any question, please you prompt me and ask the question. So planning. What are we supposed to know under planning? Of course, we should be able to define planning. We should be able to also outline some planning tools or methods. Okay. Then most importantly, we should also be able to outline the steps in the planning process. And after that, we can look at some of the benefits of planning and the challenges of planning. So the benefits of planning and then the challenges. So professors, you can note these things down because these are the major things you have to take note of when it comes to planning as a function of management. So without wasting time, we'll quickly glance through these things I've outlined. And coming from the fact that we were all available during the presentation, I expect lots of contributions from your end, right? So let's define planning. What is planning? What is planning? What is planning? And I think I'll call one of us. Portia, I would have to wait a little before I call you. Prof. Janelle, planning. What is planning, Prof. Janelle? Is I think we have all planned in one way or the other before, right? So what is planning? Prof. Janelle, I'm waiting for you to share your thoughts on that. Please unmute your microphone.
So please, planning is the way of organizing.
Okay, is that all?
Yes.
Okay, so Prof. Janelle has expressed her views. Let me hear from Prof. Na.
His planning is thinking about and organizing an action for the desired.
Oh, Prof. Na's voice is very low, but I think she said is thinking about. Okay, let me hear from Augustine Akoli. Then I'll come to the two ladies who have their hands high in the skies. Augustine, yes. What is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So please, planning refers to using the tools of planning, to create objectives, and then to create objectives and setting of goals, and how you achieve them.
Okay, thank you very much. Prof. Josephine, and then finally I'll pick Prof. Portia. So Prof. Josephine, let me hear you.
His planning are the steps taken in order to achieve goals.
The steps taken in order to achieve goals. Okay, finally, Prof. Portia.
So please, planning is briefly setting down objectives and how these objectives will be carried out so that it will help you cope with uncertainty and risks in the future.
Okay. Thank you very much, Portia. So in an exams, if I were to award marks, I think some of you will score 5, others will score 3, others will score 2. So let's get the facts right. Planning, right, is a function of management that basically deals with setting objectives or goals. So professors, note that down. Planning is the process of setting goals or objectives and then developing strategies to achieve these set goals or objectives. So actually the definition of planning comes in 2 phases. The part where you set the goals and the part where you develop strategies to achieve the set goal or objective. And I believe as of now, if I talk about goals or objectives, you know what I'm talking about. So a goal or objective is that desired destination, right? Where you want to be, what you want to do. those are questions that answers, or these are answers that are given to questions about goals and objectives, right? Okay. So planning is setting the objective or the goal and then developing strategies to achieve the goal you have set. So for example, if I set a goal to get 8 A's in the WASI, then I also need to add on how the strategies, what am I going to do to get the 8 A's, right? So planning is set the goal, but also develop strategies you are going to use to achieve the set goal. Okay. I think the goal and objectives we are clear. These are targets, desired results that we want at the end of the whole process. Okay. In other definitions, you can think about planning as, let me write some of these things down for my professors to take notes. So definition of planning. First of all, planning is a function of management that involves setting goals and objectives and developing strategies to achieve the set goals or objectives. So please don't ever forget the definition of planning. You set the goals, you develop strategies to achieve the goals you set. In other books, you might see something like planning. Planning is deciding in advance what to do. So deciding in advance what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and where to do it. So if you are paying attention to this definition I've just given, then the what to do is the set goal or target. And then when you are going to do it, how you are going to do it, where you are going to do it would comprise, or that in total would refer to the strategies you want to use to achieve that particular set goal. Okay, I believe now my professors are very much okay when it comes to what planning is. Now, if we know what planning is, it's important that we know what a plan is. Plan. What is a plan? Because planning is the process, right? It's a process. So what is a plan itself? My professors, let me hear you. And I think we all have plans, right? And when you go to the construction industry, before they build, they draw a plan. So what is a plan? Of Afiba, plan. What is a plan? You might have heard this word before. Yes, Prof. Afiba, I want to hear from you on that. Oh, my professor's mood today, I don't know. Prof. Enam, plan. What is a plan?
Please. A plan is a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something.
Okay. So, like she rightly put it, a plan is more or less like a detailed strategy as to how you would achieve a particular target. Okay. So the plan in itself is that strategy you have developed. Okay. So you see that there's a difference between planning and plan. So planning is the process of putting the plan in action, if I'm to say, or if I'm to put it in that context, right? So the plan in itself is a detailed strategy. So if I show you my plan for doing something, you are going to see how, in details, how I want to achieve a particular set goal. So a plan is a detailed strategy to achieve a target or a goal, right? Great. So now that we know planning and what a plan is, shall we continue to look at what next? We need to look at the tools in planning, the tools for planning. So if you want to plan, if you want to set a goal and decide or develop strategies of achieving this goal, what tools can you use to plan? So tools for planning. Yes, my professors. The tools for planning. I think last time the other group presented in excess of about 4 or 5. Shall we look at these tools for planning? So my professors, is it that on the presenter, Prof. Janelle? Yes. Janelle, let me hear from you.
So please, budgeting.
Budgeting. So budgeting is one of the tools you can use or the methods you can use to plan. Shall we get the second one? Prof. Enam.
Forecasting and projecting.
Forecasting. Either you forecast or you project. Projecting. Okay. Who is giving me the next? Number 3. Okay. Okay, I'll pick one from Josephine and then one from Portia. So Josephine.
The decision trees.
Decision trees. Then for Portia.
Set these and rollout project.
What did you say?
Rollout project.
Rollout project. Please, can you add some little fresh flesh to what you said? Rollout projects. When you say rollout,
Please, I don't know how to explain it to you, but maybe it's like introducing a new product or service to the market. That's what I think.
okay.
Like planning, you can see, you see, say.
Okay. So so it's more or less like you want to deploy a new product or service, right? And then you design such a rolling out plan, right? Okay, so
Yes.
I want us to appreciate why or how it's going to be a tool for planning.
Say the same time again.
So I want us to appreciate how it is a tool for planning, right?
How is it to okay? The
So,
definition for planning is planning is, as you said, is setting objectives and developing the strategies to achieve those set goals, right? So so now if you want to roll out projects, that's by introducing new product or service to our market, like to what we do. It's something like you're planning something new.
okay.
So can't it be like it too?
Okay, so this is my comment on that. So when you roll out a project, right, in itself, in rolling out a project, you would have to plan. Like you say, you are bringing out a new product or service. So you need to set goals and also develop strategies to achieve the set goal. So maybe the set goal, for example, will be a car manufacturing company planning or setting the goal of introducing a car that does not use fuel, right? And so they would have to, as it were, put down or design a strategy to roll out this new product, right? So in the rolling out, you are going to employ some of the tools we are discussing here. So the rollout project, the project attached itself makes it bigger than a planning tool, right? So in rolling out the project, you employ a lot of planning tool, which might be budgeting, which might be forecasting. Okay. So the point rollout project in itself has planning in it, but cannot be stated as a specific planning tool, because in that rollout project, you'll be employing a lot of planning tools. Okay. So that's the point I wanted to clarify there, right? Okay. Maybe if you have added, maybe roll out schedules, okay, because scheduling is part of the planning too. So roll out schedules where in the business attempt to bring out or roll out a new project, they schedule that, okay, the launching is going to be done on the 21st, the unveiling will be done, blah, 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 okay? So maybe roll out schedule, but the project there is what is giving me problems. Okay, Portia, I hope you appreciate the comment.
Yes, please.
Okay. Then we have, after the scheduling, we also have the Gantt chart. In fact, we have lots of planning tools. We have a lot of them, but the curriculum restricts us to these 5. So we'll look at these 5. Maybe you can search more on other planning tools or planning methods, right? Well, let me share a few that I know of. Okay, so we have flow charts. I don't know if you know what a flow chart is. A flow chart is used where whatever we are dealing with is more about a process. Okay, so from process 1 to process 2, like for example, how you prepare soup. So there's a chart giving you a flow of how you prepare the soup. So number 1, put the saucepan on the fire. Number 2, pour water. Number 3, put in the fish. Please don't judge me that I'm not preparing proper soup. I'm just giving an example. Okay. So flow charts, we have yeah, kind of say. In fact, we have a Prof. Paddy, are you saying something to us?
So you're talking about the flow chart.
Yes, the flow chart. Yes. You have an idea of what it is? Tell us.
Yeah, please. I was saying that it's diagram to illustrate processes execution.
Yes, yes. So the point I was making is the flow chart is used more when you are dealing with processes or systems, okay? So it's like it chronologically gives you the flow of how to do things. That's why it gets the name flow. So the step-by-step arrangement of whatever process you are dealing with, right? Okay, so we have a lot of planning tools. In fact, we even have I don't want to, add lots of plenty things you are not familiar with. So for now, let's stick to the 5. But I've mentioned flow charts. You can talk about we even have some softwares specifically designed to assist management in planning. So such of example include we have Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets. Okay, we also have specific project planning templates. Okay, depending on where you find yourself, the industry you find yourself, you can have people designing a template you can use to and then we have to-do lists. Even a calendar is a planning tool, right? A calendar is a planning tool. You can use a calendar to, set goals and as well develop strategies of achieving. But the interesting thing about this is when you look through all these planning tools, it's like some of them are embedded in the other. So the calendar I mentioned, the calendar is used for doing more of scheduling. If you want to schedule a party or meet a deadline, you go onto your calendar and you pick a date that on this date I'm doing that. So most of the tools are embedded in the other. The reason why the curriculum is asking us to focus on these 5. So budgeting, forecasting, decision trees, scheduling, and the Gantt chart. Dear professors, let's meet in the second session. We'll go into details what these 5 planning tools are, and then we'll continue. Okay. Thank you very much. See you all in the next session.